Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Gunjan. So in my last video I told you I'll share some festival special recipe with you, and I shared you one amazing miracle cookies recipe. I hope you tried that. Now today the recipe I am going to share, we don't need any festival to make this recipe. We love this recipe because it's cheesecake. Who doesn't love a cheesecake? I'm not going to make any fancy cheesecake. I'm going to make a traditional New York style baked cheesecake. However, I'm going to give you some tips and advices during my video how you can bake this without having any crack on the top, and how to bake a perfect cheesecake. And it's going to be keto, it's going to be low carb, and taste will be amazing, no doubt about that. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and see how to bake the perfect keto cheesecake. And before that, if you are new to my channel, a very warm welcome. Please do consider subscribing to my channel. And now let's go to the recipe. So let's begin with our best low carb cheesecake recipe, and for that here I have taken 6" of spring form pan, because it's the best cake tin when it comes to baking a cheesecake, because it's really easy to unmold from. And I'm going to go ahead and line this with some baking paper, and for that I'm going to cut this in the shape and the size of our cake tin. If you don't want to transfer your cheesecake onto a serving plate, so in that case you don't need to line your baking tray, and this does not looks perfect, so I'm just going to go ahead and trim the edges, and I think it's perfect. So now I'm going to line this up using some oil, and next I'm going to line the edges as well, because I want a perfect cheesecake with a perfectly baked edges. So that's why I am greasing the edges and just lining it with a strip of baking paper, and this looks perfect. Now set this aside and let's go ahead and start preparing for our base. So for my base, here is my mixing bowl, and into this I am adding half a cup of almond flour, followed by 2 tablespoons of coconut flour. I like the combination of almond flour and coconut flour, but if you want to just do almond flour or coconut flour, you can do that. And some baking powder and some keto sweetener. I am using mix of erythritol and stevia, and just mix everything in until it's well combined and there is no lump, because we want a lump free mixture. And next I am adding 3 tablespoons of room temperature grass fed butter into this, and mix everything in until your flour is well coated with butter. If you feel that the butter is not enough, you can add a teaspoon or tablespoon of more butter, but this will do the trick. You will see it in a while. So this is our base mixture well combined with butter, and now this is ready to go in our baking tin. So let me transfer this to my baking tin. There we go, and I'm done. And now I'm going to go ahead and spread this evenly using my spatula, and just dab this in, and now it's evenly spread it, but the surface does not look even to me. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use my measuring cup, and with the back of it I am going to smooth out the surface. You can use anything which is available in your kitchen which has basically got a flat surface, and this looks good to me. I think it's perfect. So now it's ready to go into the oven at 180 degrees Celsius for about 10 to 15 minutes until the edges are golden brown. And now we will go ahead and start prepping for our cream cheese mixture, and for that in my mixing bowl I have taken softened cream cheese, which is 16 ounces of it, and to this I have added 1 teaspoon of vanilla and half a cup of sweetener. I have used the same sweetener as I used before, which is stevia and erythritol. And bring out your hand blender and start whisking it in until this forms a fluffy and smooth batter. And at this point I would like to remind you and emphasize that please do make sure that your all ingredients are at room temperature, and especially cream cheese, because If it is not at room temperature, when you beat this, it will have lumps and you will not have smooth cheesecake at the end. And now into this I am adding 3 tablespoons of sour cream. If you don't have sour cream, you can sub this for high fat Greek yogurt, or if you don't want to add either of this, you can skip it entirely. And next in goes 2 room temperature eggs, and these are the large size eggs. Now the trick here is adding each egg at a time and whisk in between until it's completely incorporated, and then you add the second egg and repeat the process. So at the end you should have nice creamy silky smooth batter. And now it's time to add this to your baking tin, but before that, another trick time. So in order to get the best low carb cheesecake without any crack on top, we need to bake this in a water bath. But before that, we need to line our baking tin with some aluminum sheet. So here I have got 2 sheets of aluminum foil and I have layered them on top of each other, and I'm wrapping it around my baking tin. This way we will prevent any water from seeping into our baking tin when we put this into water bath. So this is ready. Putting this into a water bath is an extremely important step, and do not miss this out. Now next, place your cheesecake tin into deep roasting pan, and now it's the time to pour your cheesecake filling onto your completely cooled crust. And now to create a water bath, add about 1.5 inch or about 2 inch of water into your deep roasting pan, and next this goes into oven at 160 degrees Celsius for about 1 hour. And after 1 hour, when the edges are set and the center of your cheesecake is still wobbly, that's when you know your cheesecake is ready. Turn off your oven and open the oven door partially and allow your cheesecake to cool inside the oven. And once it's completely cooled, it's time to refrigerate this. This is the hardest part of our cheesecake recipe. So you have to let this cool for about 5 hours or preferably overnight. Here is my cheesecake and I have chilled it overnight, and now it's the time to unmold it. And let me remove the baking paper so that I can show you the sides, and just look at this perfectly baked, nice and smooth sides. And this perfection can only be achieved by using water bath. And now it's time to cut a piece of our the best cheesecake, and here we go. Just look at the texture, how creamy and rich it looks, and it tastes absolute heaven. Please do try this recipe on these holidays. I hope you liked my recipe of the best low carb cheesecake. Please do try my best low carb cheesecake recipe and let me know in comment below how did you find my recipe. And yes, of course, don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more such recipes. Happy holidays and goodbye.